What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. Tonight we're going to be checking out the brand new Inforce Tfx handheld light. Now, many of you guys know Inforce for being a weapon light company. They make a wide variety of pistol lights, rifle lights, and now they have brought us the Inforce Tfx handheld. So let's go ahead and jump into some of the specs on the Inforce Tfx. So when I first received this light, the biggest thing that stood out to me was the weight. This light is made of the same reinforced polymer as their weapon lights, and that is one big reason why this light is so lightweight. This is coming in right at 3.75 ounces, and I know when you hear a number like that, you really can't picture, how heavy or how light this thing is. But guys, I assure you, this is one of the lightest handhelds of this size that I've ever seen. This light is also running on two CR123 batteries, which I absolutely love. I am always a huge fan of any company that likes to use CR123s, and this light does come with these Energizer lithiums, so that is a plus. If you're a guy that doesn't stock up on CR123s, you can find them relatively cheap. Most weapon lights are going to run on CR123s, so it's not a bad battery to get into. These two CR123s are giving this light a runtime of 2 hours on 700 lumens and 12 hours on 60 lumens. With one click, we're going to get a constant on with 700 lumens. With 2 clicks, we are going to get 60 lumens, which is like their moonlight mode. And with 2 kind of fast clicks, we're going to get strobe mode. Now, I don't know how often I will use strobe. I'm not a big fan of strobe on weapon lights or handhelds. But this light does have a lot of features that really stand out to me, so I can look past the strobe. Some guys may like it, some guys may not. It is nice that they put it on there. I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Now, as I just showed you guys, this light does have constant on in all of those modes. You're also going to have your momentary feature, which you could basically hold for about 1 second, 1/1000, and release, and you will have your momentary feature. And the button is a very nice button. It is a tail cap activation. It does have a little bit of texturing on it, which is nice if your hands are wet or bloody, as some guys would say, but realistically that probably won't happen to most people. But it is nice that it does have a textured tail cap. Now, this light did come with an additional tail cap, and this was like separate. It wasn't in the package, so I don't know if this is something that will come with every single TFX or not. I tried looking on their website and it really didn't say a whole lot about it. But the tail cap that comes on it in the package is this rubberized tail cap. And then the other tail cap that I had that was separate is a metal tail cap. And as you can hear, it just kind of loosely sits in there. And if you screw this all the way on, your light just stays on. Well, what you're supposed to do with this tail cap is loosen it about a quarter turn, and this will give you a momentary only type feature. Some guys like to run their handhelds momentary only, so that is kind of a cool feature that your light won't get stuck on constant on accidentally or go into strobe mode, anything like that. This metal tail cap just gives you access to a momentary only light, so that is something that I thought was pretty neat. Now, while I have the tail cap off, I do want to point out that there is an O-ring here sealing the battery compartment. This light is waterproof up to 66 feet. Some guys may need that, some guys may not. It is nice to know that this light can handle water though. And another feature of the tail cap real quick is their lockout mode. Now on Inforce lights like the APLc, I really love the fact that you can put that light into lockout mode, so if it is in a bag, going to the range, or whatever the situation may be, your light will not get accidentally discharged and drain the battery. Well, this light does the same thing, and what you're going to do is just loosen that tail cap like a quarter turn, and it will put your light into lockout mode. As you see here, I cannot press it, it will not turn on. Give it that quarter turn, and then you're good to go. So moving up on the body, this light has some awesome texturing on it. It's not too aggressive, but it's definitely aggressive enough where your hands are not going to slip on this thing. I do like that they put the texturing on the tail cap as well. All in all, it's a great looking light, it's a great feeling light, and I really do like the reinforced polymer body. Now moving up on the bezel, in typical Inforce fashion, like on their WMLs, their WML-X, which are their rifle lights, they do have these little heat ribbed vents here, and what that's going to do is allow heat to come off of your LED. If you guys have ran like weapon lights for a decent amount of time, or even a powerful handheld, you will know that they heat up pretty quickly. So it is nice that they do have these ribbed heat vents up front, I could see that being helpful if you plan on running this light for a decent amount of time. Now moving up front on the bezel, they did put a little bit of a grooved or textured bezel on this, and whether you can use this to bash a window out, something like that, I've not tried that. I don't know if you could, but you could probably use this light in a self-defense situation if you had to. Now let's put the light down for a minute and check out the packaging. And what I found from Inforce is most of their packaging is going to look very similar to this, and I really like their packaging, very professional packaging. Lets you know the lumen, the runtime, high mode, low mode of course. Going to tell you some of the features here on the back, and sorry for the glare. And then on the inside, we're going to have our owner's manual, the little plastic that it came in. So overall, this light was packaged very, very nicely. And honestly, this light comes in black like I have here, and then it also comes in flat dark earth like it's pictured on the box. And I would not mind picking up a flat dark earth TFX just to have a spare laying around. I am really, really impressed with this light. And if you guys have watched my channel for a decent amount of time, you'll know that I do have quite a few flashlights. I really was never a huge flashlight fan. I had a couple pretty nice lights, but over the past year, I've really been getting into flashlights, and I've always been into weapon lights, but this light here has really impressed me compared to a lot of flashlights that I do own. I would say the best thing about the Inforce Tfx is going to be its weight to output ratio. Now this light here honestly weighs as much as some of my EDC lights that are about as big as the bezel, and you know, probably a little longer than that. I'm just exaggerating here, but like the Olight S1 Baton S1R is an amazing light. I love it. I'm not bashing it by any means at all. I've carried that light more than any other flashlight that I own, but the weight of it is pretty heavy when you compare it to a light of this size and this lumen output. Now let's talk about the beam pattern of this light. Some guys get into that, some guys don't, but I do want to say that this light has a very, very focused hotspot, and it does have some decent throw to it. The spill is very, how do I want to say this? It has great spill, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not flooded out and it doesn't look bad. They just did a very good job of executing the light pattern, beam pattern on this light. I'm a big fan of my handhelds having a very good hotspot and also a decent amount of spill. I do have some lights that are like all spill. I do have some lights that are like a straight beam of hotspot. But this light puts out a beam pattern with a very, very well kept hotspot, very focused, and then also a very well kept spill. All in all, I'm just a really big fan of everything about this light, from weight to battery type to lumen output to the actual beam pattern that it puts out. I am very, very impressed with this light that Inforce has brought us, and this thing's coming in right at 80 bucks, which for a high quality flashlight, that's really not a bad price, especially of this size. And one thing that I do think that they can improve on this light, it would be nice if they did add an optional pocket clip. Some guys like pocket clips, some guys don't. It would be nice to see them maybe make a pocket clip that could snap on and off, just for the guys that do want to run them, and that is something maybe they could think about down the road. Now if you guys have any further questions on the Inforce Tfx, be sure to let me know down in the comments below. I want to give Jake over at Leviathan Group a huge shout out for getting this light out for us to review. Awesome people over there doing great things, and I am very thankful to work with Jake over at Leviathan. Now as always, thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one.